Hello, welcome to Virtual Dynamics and the Audiophile. Today I wanted to take a little bit of time and show you an audio tweak that you can do on our very own products here at Virtual Dynamics. Virtual Dynamics has been using a unique invention in our cables for several years now. It's called the speed of light technology. And the speed of light technology uses a magnet that sits inside the conductor itself. Now, if you ever notice that when you put a couple of our cables together, especially the older ones, they tend to stick together, and that's because there's high-power neodymium magnets sitting right on the cables themselves. So this is an older cable that I picked up. Somebody had traded this guy in, and we'll refurbish it here, make it look all spanky new again, and put it out in the marketplace for somebody to enjoy at a really great price. But one of the things I wanted to do before I actually sent this cable back into production to get fixed up was to show you something that you can do if you've got a Virtual Dynamics cable already and you'd like to make it sound a little nicer. On the new 2.0 version, which you can see here, you can see that we've got the magnet is much further back, and on the magnet it looks like it's got a larger diameter. One of the reasons for that is because we've got an epoxy-coated steel ring or Faraday cage that we actually put around the magnet itself. So by putting that around the magnet, we actually take the magnetic power off of the conductor. You can see how that thing just wanted to snap right on there. And it takes that magnetic power and it helps it to be contained within the cable and inside this Faraday ring. So what it does, when you put a couple of them on, this is an older style that we had here, it takes that pull almost completely away. You can see how it's so easy to be able to do that, where if I take these off, and I move them around, oops, you can see, like I literally bend that 8-gauge cable, no problem, because the magnets are so strong. Now, what the magnets are doing is they're increasing the total amount of energy that's going through, but we did find as we started to do more and more research on this technology that it was a good idea to add a Faraday cage over top of the magnet so that the work of the magnet was kept into each separate or individual line. Now, it doesn't mean if you've got an older Virtual Dynamics cable that it won't sound absolutely fantastic, because the technology of speed of light works whether or not there's a Faraday shield on it. So you still get that measured improvement or performance that we found out at the University of Toronto. However, just to make it a little bit nicer, you can add a Faraday cage. And what I wanted to do is show you how simple that could be. Now, when we first got these done, I took a steel ring like this and we put it over top, and we did a few tests just testing the steel. Now, it's a good idea to space this in such a way that this steel ring comes completely and is nicely centered over top of the cable. You can see that it isn't here on this one, but if it was, ideally, we'd want to build this up with a little bit more heat shrink or some tape so that when you put this over, this ring would be centered completely on the cable. Okay, and that'll just help to be able to keep the magnetic field in check and help it be a little bit more linear as far as the magnetic field is concerned. So what I've done is went down to the hardware store, because this is something that you can easily purchase. It's a galvanized steel fitting, and almost any hardware store would carry them. And galvanized steel is, of course, very ferrous, and so if I pop it against there, you can see that it sticks real well. These are only a few cents to buy, and one of the things that we've wanted to do is share with you tips and tweaks that are really inexpensive and cost efficient to be able to do. If you take the galvanized steel and you put it over top of the cable, you'll notice that it does the same thing as our epoxy-coated steel cage that we have here. It creates a Faraday cage right over top of the magnet. Now, of course, we believe that it would be nice if you can kind of brush that up and make it look a little bit better. So taking a bit of heat shrink and putting it over top could allow that to be quite a bit nicer looking. Now, of course, we're just showing you a quick way to do it here. I'm just going to pop this down. So now we got a completed Faraday cage. Now, you don't have to have the heat shrink on top of it in order for it to do its job. It just makes it look a little bit better. And of course, this is just a tweak. We really recommend that you take a look at all of the special features that we have in the Master 2.0. But if you'd really like to just try what we're doing and you've got some spare time and a couple of spare pennies on you, and you can go down to the hardware store and get something like that galvanized nipple that I showed you there, go ahead and try it out. Put it over top of your cables and see what your cable sounds like after that. I think you're going to be quite impressed. If you have a real inkling to go farther, of course, we do offer the 2.0, which has several more upgrades in it, but this right here is about the easiest and cheapest way that I know of to be able to get some more performance out of your Virtual Dynamics audio cables, and I hope you enjoy it. I'm Rick Schultz.